Well, what we're doing here today is continuing to uphold the banners of peace against the war policy of the Harper government. It seems that in Parliament that Harper is on the verge of declaring an illegal war against another country with which we don't truly have a quarrel. The priorities of Canada as a peacekeeping nation have been totally turned upside down by this regime, Harper, and they're with no cover of any kind, not the United Nations, not the NATO. They're proceeding to join with the United States in the bombing of Syria. Also, what's going on is they're ramming through the Bill C-51, which is what they call their anti-terrorism bill, but legislation is not needed. We've got plenty of legislation in Canada, and the recent fig leaf that they put up by, apparently, according to sources, they're going to take the word lawful protest out so that not lawful protests, such as the one that we're engaged in right now on the sidewalk, would not be included. Well, that's small relief because the rest of the bill is still there, including the upside-down provision that CSIS agents in secret can ask a judge for a warrant to break the laws of Canada. This has never been done before, and it shall not pass.
What's happening here today?
Today we're here actually trying to bring a message and sound the alarm for the rest of Canadians so that they understand the significance and importance of the expiry of the health accord, which occurred last year on March 31st. The health accord is an agreement between the provinces and territories, and the federal government that sets up national standards, and it sets the rates for funding, healthcare funding by the federal government to the provinces. And so upon its expiry, we basically are left without any kind of federal leadership around the issues of healthcare. With no federal leadership, what we end up having is 10 separate jurisdictions that have no common thread, and your ability to receive healthcare will not be the same in each single province. And Canadians need to remember that Canada is one country. Our Medicare system is a Canadian Medicare system, and even though provinces have jurisdiction over their healthcare delivery, we still need to have national standards so that if people move from one province to the next, they will be able to receive the same timely and quality access to healthcare, to public healthcare, regardless of where they live and regardless of their ability to pay. And that was the value, that was the intent of our national healthcare system when it was actually instituted over 50 years ago.
So what do you hope to come out of this rally today?
We hope that not just this rally, but across the country, Canadians are standing up again for this, demanding that this government take a leadership role. We want them to hear us. This is a good time for them to have this public pressure put on them, given that there's a federal election coming up, and I think it's the right time to demand that they listen to Canadians and provide that federal leadership, regardless who's in power, provide that federal leadership so that Canadians have access to a quality public health care system, which is I think the core of our values.
And we have been seeing the federal government vacate its space with regard to healthcare for decades now. They started saying that our Medicare system should provide that they would put towards the Medicare system 50% of the cost, and now it's down to some paltry amount under, even I think it's under 20%. So by choking off the funding, they're actually bringing in the privateers, making it attractive for all sorts of privateers to take over our system. And I think we need to ensure that we tell the government that we expect our federal government to have its role, its leadership role in our healthcare system, whether that's for Medicare and or including pharmacare. Hopefully you've seen the recent report that says for $1 billion we could save $7 billion and cover every single prescription drug for every Canadian. So let's tell Rona Ambrose and Harper that they need to take their role seriously with regard to healthcare. Thank you. Woo!
Indigenous people all over our homelands suffer such indignity and injustice every day in the Canadian court system. For us, it's no secret for us. This is a cruel reality that we are forced to live with. What is even more cruel is how the courts, the justice system, and the politicians of this country have so carelessly ignored the plight of our missing and murdered women for so long. They have ignored our pleas, and they have ignored the truth, all while our people continue to suffer. It is because of their ignorance and their gross violation continue with any regard for human dignity, decency. They treat us as though we are not entitled to the same rights and protection as all of us human beings.
You know, it makes me wonder what our country is all about, what it's doing. What is the government doing? Are they trying to destroy us as people? You know, Cindy has a family. Cindy's a mother, a daughter, a sister, and auntie. She's a friend to a lot of people. She's also a human being, and an Indigenous woman that, like everybody, all the Indigenous women of this country that bring life into this world. The men, it's our mothers that put us on earth here. We have to do a better job in what we're doing, teaching our children how to respect, how to protect our women. We are protectors, not abusers.
Whereas the resolution is to seek justice for Cindy Gladue. Whereas the decision was made by the jury to exonerate Bradley Barton for the murder of Cindy Gladue, it violated the rights of any human being. And whereas the prejudice shown by the legal system towards Cindy Gladue in her life and in her death is totally unacceptable. And whereas the presentation of Cindy Gladue's body parts as evidence in the trial is blatant indecent interference in a dead body, and it is a criminal act, and just because it was done in a courtroom doesn't make it right. Therefore, we demand a full review of the criminal justice system as it pertains to the continued lack of understanding of the negative implications of this ruling has on all Aboriginal women in this country, in Canada. We demand a full review of the criminal justice system because this is only one piece of the discrimination that takes place every day, in every place, in every institution. We further demand that there be a creation of Aboriginal Women's Commission with full authority to counter the racism and prejudice as exists within the courts and Canadian society in order to stop the killings of Aboriginal women in Alberta and in Canada. I ask for your support on that resolution. It identifies that we're all together on this move to change society and to make it a good place to live. Because we want Canada to change, and there are good answers. It's just the denial of the existence of the murders of Aboriginal women and the opportunity that we have ourselves as individuals and ourselves as part of the Canadian society to change the attitudes and counter the discrimination which exists in every single institution, in the hospitals, in the educational system. Every place you look, there is discrimination that is allowed to exist and results in the deaths of our women.
Stop Bill C-51!
Sir, have you heard about Bill C-51? No, what's it about? Bill C-51. This is the new anti-tariff bill that Harper is proposing to his government. It started in January, and it's supposed to be only going against people who are terrorists. That's what they say, but it's actually really broad, and it's actually really dangerous for the general population because it's so general that the Harper government they can. I'm all nervous and stuff.
You're doing good so far.
It's so broad, and their term for terrorism is so general. Oh no, what's going on?
Oh.
Stop speaking out against the government. Under C-51, this is not allowed. Terrorists!
Excuse me, Miss Secret Police. Could you say why you're here today and
Well, we're following these protesters around because they're speaking out against the government, and that, after Harper's bill passes, is going to be illegal.
So what do you hope to accomplish today?
We hope to let all of the civilians know that we are watching them.
You smile at that.
Harper's watching you! Prime Minister coming through here, people!
Bill C-51. You got phone hands, that's alright.
Prime Minister here, people! Show some respect!
Hey, what are you doing? We're watching you.
Don't speak out against the government.
You're not allowed to speak. You can't talk.
This is crazy.
You're not allowed. You're a terrorist.
I'm not a terrorist, we're speaking out!
What do you think you're doing? What's going on in my feet? We're watching you.